Welcome to TopShot NFT. I'm your host, Jason, and today we have a very special guest, Miss Jennifer Sutto. And if you guys are in the TopShot world, I'm sure that you have probably come across either her YouTube videos. She's got a fire Twitter feed, and I believe you even have a video kind of explaining the pack drops or something on the TopShot blog. Was there? Did they use that or
Yeah,
still live?
yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I've been listening to actually a lot of your episodes, so it's an honor to be on. But I actually, they were like, or Alan reached out and he was like, hey, just curious, like, did you want to make a video about the pre-order base drop? Like, just to kind of inform the people, like, these are some of the questions that I've been getting and blah, blah. He didn't say like, maybe we'll put you on the website or anything. He was just like, just an idea, like, maybe make a video about the pre-order base drop. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's actually a good idea. So I made the video that day and then I posted it just kind of about like what they had said in the blog post about it. And then he put it in the blog and I was like, oh my God, like they put my video in the blog. I was so excited. And yeah, it was pretty cool. So
it's interesting because you're we'll deep dive a little bit more, but like your background is in TikTok and you have a rather large following. Is it different to be TikTok famous as opposed to TopShot famous? Because like, it's funny because like there's so many people, and in the grand scope of social media, right? Like, if you have millions of followers, then you're like this influencer. But like our people that are popular in TopShot, and I'm including obviously First Mint, Plunge Father, you, even though you don't have like tens of thousands of followers, like even with your, kind of growing fan base, like you're kind of famous. Like there's a lot of engagement without being like the Kim Kardashian of TopShot,
Yeah, I think that it's different for TikTok because first of all, TikTok is the easiest social media platform to grow organically and to go viral. So yeah, and it's different because it is a younger audience for TikTok, and they're not necessarily like loyal to you particularly, and they don't necessarily value your like. It's more like entertainment. Well, the type of videos I make is more like entertainment, like
Right.
just for fun type of stuff. But yeah, for TopShot, like it's just different because there aren't necessarily like 12-year-old kids watching you. Like it's literally like older, people that are like adults and they're watching the videos for the information and all that. And yeah, I mean, I just like creating content and I kind of was like, well, I think, it's nice to be able to talk to like, I guess, make videos, like talk to yourself on the internet about stuff that's going on. I talk to my sister a lot, but it's also nice to just kind of make videos and like hear from other people and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that it's kind of like just the beginning for people creating content like within TopShot. And I mean, I just saw the opportunity. I was like, oh, it's a good opportunity. Start creating content now, and I think that there's going to be a lot more people creating content in the future for TopShot. So
I think it's, what people don't realize is like, in the history books, like the gold rushes, like I live in California, so the 49er gold rush, right? There was a lot of people that, were early and found their gold and, became very wealthy. But there's also the people that, were selling the pickaxes and selling the tins, the sifters to find the gold and selling water. And they were able to make their own mark and, become wealthy in that way. Now, I don't like to kind of focus on like TopShot as like this get rich quick type of thing. I think that there's a lot of people that are going to be burned in that. But with the content generators, we see a lot of people that are doing with like evaluate market, OptiBaller, Intangible, like all these kind of tools. Like kudos to them, like thank you, because like it's an awesome tool for us to use. And then there's the potential for them to kind of monetize it down the road at some point. They're going to have to, because even they keep crashing with people F5ing on them so much.
Yeah, seriously.
So what, kind of take us back, like you started, like your first introduction to TopShot, you said was your sister. We've had your sister on the show, Steph. She was great. But we wanted to give you your own space, your own platform. So she tells you about it, and then like, you're a whole day behind. So she's like leaps and bounds ahead of you, right?
Yeah, right. Well, actually, so we both have been like in the crypto world for like 3 years now. So we've already kind of been in the cryptocurrency space, and I've spent like thousands of hours learning about cryptocurrency and everything. And so we both had crypto kitties as well, because we were like, this seems kind of like a cool concept. And Steph got me into CryptoKitties as well. She's kind of always like the first. Like, she'll introduce me to stuff, and then I kind of am like, we always say like, she's a starter, I'm a finisher. So I'll pull us through stuff, and she'll like start things, But yeah, we had a few CryptoKitties, and she was like on the Dapper Labs website one day, and she just saw that there was this new beta coming out, NBA TopShot, and we already knew that blockchain technology was the future, and that NFTs are going to be big. And the fact that Dapper Labs, which is the team that we already believe in, we already know, they're an established team and company in the space. They're partnering up with NBA and like doing this NBA TopShot thing. Like, this is going to be huge, and when we first got in, they were just opening up the open beta, and prices were pretty cheap, like, but prices were cheap, but it was still like a lot of money, like, spending a couple $100s on moments that, you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. Like, that is still a lot of money technically, but I mean, now it's not, but yeah, I mean, I think she just saw it, she signed up. And then once she kind of tested the waters and signed up, she told me about it the next day, and she's like, Jen, this is really cool. And then we just like went crazy, and we were like buying a ton of packs, and we were buying a bunch of moments, and like just buying a bunch of stuff and just holding. And yeah, it was really boring November and December, and we would kind of log in, get some packs or buy some moments here and there, but we weren't really like active on it every single day in November, December, because it was really boring. Like, literally, I bought this moment, this S1 rare for $35 in October, and literally the price like did not budge for like a whole month. Like, it literally went down, and I was like, oh, like, I'm not going to sell at a loss. I'm just going to hold this. And so there was a lot of stuff that I just had to hold. And then when Katie sent that email where she was like, oh my gosh, like, check out this chart of our sales volume, like in January. I was like, oh shoot, I think I should check it out. Like, what's happening in TopShot?
You came back. Yeah.
And yeah, I came back. So
you guys kind of have like it's the OG term is quite interesting in our community, because I always say like the space-time continuum is just completely whack for TopShot. I am now considered an OG in a lot of the discords because I was in January 7th, and
right.
Of course, like, we have, Wade from Australia is our Australian correspondent on the show, and we've had him on a few times, and he's like a true OG, and even he's like, no, like
he doesn't like calling people OG.
Yeah, or Andy's the OG, and so it's just funny, like literally, like the month, if you're like a month or a couple of weeks, like it's like, oh man, so much, I'm so late. And it's weird because it sounds to me like you bought a couple packs and maybe a couple moments early on, and then when you come back in January, you're like, whoa, look, like found money, right? So when I first opened the very first base set one pack, when Linux introduced TopShot to me, I pulled Cameron Payne, Buddy Hield, and Jordan Clarkson, and I was just like, seriously, like. And they were like $2. Like, it was actually could be negative EV if you bought a pack back then for $10. And so we ended up scoring the holiday hoops pack, and that's what really Like that was like
Deck the hoops. Yeah.
deck the hoops. And so that was like literally like a couple days later, and we pulled a LeBron, and then it was like, all right, game on.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we sold it for 8,000. Oops.
Well, that's good though. You sold it for 8,000. I'm sure you did some good things with the profits.
Yeah, and Linux is Linux is the co-host here. He's traveling today, but it's like he's so good about never looking back, and I'm so terrible because we have the LeBron Kobe together. We basically sold that LeBron, and then we reinvested. We split our profits, but then we were like, let's take a flyer on this Kobe dunk for $2,000. And
Nice.
Linux says to me is like, all right, like when it doubles, we'll have a conversation, about what we should do. And it was like, yeah, it'll probably be like a month. And it was literally like 2 days later, it was like at 5,000. And then it kept going up. So we actually have it listed now. We're trying to kind of move it actually, because we want to free up the capital to, diversify. That's kind of been my strategy. Like I love that LeBron dunk, but in the holiday, the deck the hoops is now going for like the floor is like 75,000 or something ridiculous.
That's crazy.
But again, like we took that, we bought that $2,000 LeBron, and now like the last one sold for like 38,000. So it's like it all kind of evens out, and we bought so much other stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'm really into like the metallic golds, especially series 2. Like pretty much got all of them until they had the last drop with like Steph, Zion, and Anthony Edwards. And it's just like, please don't let them be in the challenge anytime soon.
Right.
So that's kind of like you kind of got re-energized in January and kind of came back in. What made you kind of decide to really kind of blast out the Twitter and kind of be like kind of a go-to source for that?
For Twitter, I actually made a Twitter probably a little over a month ago. I literally didn't even have a profile picture. I just made it because I wanted to like stalk Roham's tweets and like see what he was saying. Like literally, I was like only following like Roham and like a few other people. And then actually on Valentine's Day, I started my YouTube channel because I had nowhere to go, and I was like, fuck it, I might as well like start a YouTube channel, might as well do something. So yeah, I started a YouTube channel on Valentine's Day, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna use my Twitter to like promote my YouTube and just like post my videos on Twitter. And so then I just started doing that. My Twitter now has more followers than my YouTube. I'm like, what the heck? But I've been tweeting more and just kind of tweeting more and stuff like that. But I kind of just started it to just find out information, really. But then I was like, oh, you know what? It'd be nice to have Twitter and YouTube,
YouTube is so interesting. So like my background, I had a social media company like where I managed accounts, and I got really deep. Actually, so I wrote a book called The Bartending Therapist. You can get it on Amazon. And that was what got me into social media because actually I talked about it with your sister. Ty Lopez was like a big influence on her and also me. And through Ty, I met this other guy, and he was like this young, like social media expert at the time. And he was like 18 and a millionaire. And I kind of connected with him, and he gave me some great advice on how to grow social. And so I started with like Instagram and Facebook and got to like 30,000 followers on that. And then I released my book. It becomes a Amazon bestseller. And then I just went hyper speed, and I grew a bunch of accounts on Instagram to where I was around like 300,000 or 400,000 on my accounts. And the organic, like you could do a lot of things to like grow really fast on Instagram, and it's so difficult. But what has always been true is YouTube is probably the hardest platform to grow, because even when you have like you can have like 2,000, 3,000 subs, and then you post a video and it's like 2 days and it's only like 500, 600. It's like, where's all my subscribers? And then like some of my earlier videos, like the one with Alan, is probably going to hit like over 4,000 views soon. And
I saw that one. That was the first video. I was like, who are these guys? Like that was the first video I saw, and that was a really cool interview that you did.
I always, anybody that's new, I'm like, not trying to promote me, but go watch this video and listen to Alan. Not so much for
Yeah.
TopShot strategy, but just like, what the hell is it? Why is it not, the same as a YouTube clip? And so that's kind of it's a great intro. And then all the other episodes are just really cool, I think, and strategy, but just personality. And we've had some pretty cool guests. But YouTube is definitely a weird frontier. And you kind of made yours like an educational platform. It's entertaining because you have a very good personality, but keeping it really tight with like the 3 to 4 minutes. What is that the strategy going forward, or is there an expansion potentially that you're thinking of? Like, because you're just starting, so you never know what direction is going to kind of click.
Well, I personally, I think about like what I like for myself, and I personally, I already have experience with short form content on TikTok, literally making like 15-second videos that take hours, So I already believe that short form content, like I believe in it, and I personally think that for me, I don't like watching like long YouTube videos just personally because I don't know, I just like things to be quick. So I'm like, okay, like for me, I would like to keep all my videos under 5 minutes just because that's what I would like if I were watching videos type of thing. And but I do want to do interviews. I want to do like YouTube live interviews where they're like, an hour maybe. And I have that be live. I think that would be really cool. I would love to interview some of the OGs that has started, during the closed beta, maybe some that started in October and that have like multi-million-dollar portfolios. I would love to interview some people and then have it open it up for Q&A so people can ask questions as well. But for the most part, I do want all of my videos that like I personally create to be under 5 minutes, just because it's so easy to binge watch content that's just like a couple minutes. And yeah, I feel like it's just easier for people to see a video and then they're like, okay, what other videos does this girl have? Oh, might as well just watch all of these. They're only like 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I think there's value in everything. And we were talking about this before we kind of jumped on here. It's, there's so much space for different things. Like, I like the long form and the personalities of the people that make up this TopShot community, which, and I can't stress this enough. Like, that's what's so cool. Like, we have this huge influx of users right now. And I really kind of feel like they're kind of missing out on like this short term, like, because they're fortunate that they're getting a pack and then they can flip it, turn $14 into a couple hundred. But the people that are really engaged in the community, like, there's going to be something that's going to spawn out of these relationships and these discords down the road. And it's kind of like I know you're definitely like a long vision person in this space. I think there's some short-term, like certainly some big short-term gains available, but like I've always been kind of looking for what's the next thing, like TopShot, like we have this spike, but like the UFC thing, like, can I get into the UFC beta, like, or alpha, like that would be, very, very cool. Yeah. I don't know about the Dr. Seuss thing, if that's going to take legs now. There's a little bit of controversy around the doctor, but
yeah, or WNBA when it comes out, because I think that people are like, oh, but who watches the WNBA? I'm like, perfect. It'll be underrated in the beginning, like potentially. So, but I think that people want to collect things even if they don't watch. Like, I don't even watch NBA, but I still collect, and because as long as you believe in it, like I feel like you'll be willing to collect. So I think WNBA will do pretty well, but maybe not at first. I don't know.
Are you doing anything with NFTs like Nifty Gateway or Wax or any of that?
I mean, I'm trying not to focus on too many things because then it's just hard to manage. But I did do the Street Fighters NFT. Okay. I have those. I'm just holding them. I fused them together and all that too. I have CryptoKitties. Obviously, I'm waiting for CryptoKitties to go onto the Flow blockchain and then kind of blow up and then kind of see what to do from there. Right. Maybe sell some kitties. I don't know, but I have those. And then I do play Gods Unchained. It's like the first it's the first like card game on the blockchain where you actually own the cards, and you can actually sell them for ETH. And so I have some cards I definitely want to sell for ETH when they come out with Immutable X. But yeah, so
I just got an alert. Steve Aoki had a drop on Nifty Gateway today, and
oh
it was
shoot.
and it was a drawing for it was like a pack drawing kind of, but there's only 200 in Nifty Gateway. Like it was interesting when TopShot was having so many troubles in like January and in February. I was also doing Nifty Gateway stuff, and Nifty Gateway was seamless. It was like flawless. Like,
Really?
oh man, never the site was never down. It was perfect. And I'm like, God, Top Shot needs to look at what Nifty's doing and like get on board. Like, why can't, you know? And now Nifty is like having so much traffic, they're crashing and they're having problems. So the fact that I just got the alert that I got my Steve Aoki drawing, there's only 200 of them.
You
So
got one?
yeah,
Oh shoot, congratulations. That's
well,
awesome.
I don't even. So there's a rarity. There's 200, but then there's like a 101, 105.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know which one I got. I'm a little scared to look, but it was $2,000 for the pack.
Oh
So
my God. Was it USD or did you have to pay like in Ethereum or anything?
USD, but I've already like kind of flipped some stuff on Nifty, so I have a balance. But
Nice.
but art is interesting because like so I got this thing. It's called Cranky, and it's like a spray can like figurine NFT, and it was my biggest impulse that I've ever done that's backfired. But
Oh no.
I was like, I couldn't get it. Linux got one. It was like going for 350. So we didn't get in. And then I'm watching the secondary right after, and it went for like 1,500. And I was like, whoa. And it sold. And then it went for 2,000 and it sold. And I was like, this is going to go up. This is something. So then I tried to get one at 25, didn't go through. 35 didn't go through. Finally got one for 63 and it went through. And then I posted it right away for 10,000 and it just went, and that was it. So I've been sitting on this spray paint can for like a month now. But that's the problem with the art space is like there is like a short-term flip right away, but then a lot of it is, just like the Beeple's a great example. People got the the Bull Run Beeple was like for $1 or no, it was $1,000. And now that thing's selling for like 150,000, a couple months later.
That's crazy. I feel like that kind of, because that also happens in TopShot. Like you'll see, for example, the recent like February pump that we had, and it was just going up, and everyone's like TopShot to the moon, and that always like scares me. I'm like, okay, like I should probably. And I actually sold off a lot of stuff like during the pump because I wanted to free up capital for the dip because I knew that okay, like obviously it's not going to go to the moon. Like it has to be in weight, and so I feel like. It's just kind of like, it's hard like buying a hot potato and then kind of like waiting for it to go up a little bit more. It's like buying during a pump is risky. But yeah, like actually today because people are freeing up capital for that, rare drop, $200. And I just bought like 3 really good moments. First of all, I bought S1 Rare with the strip, Kai Bowman, who is going to get a rookie badge. I bought number 7 for like $989. And the guy who I bought it from had bought it for $1,000 like 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh my God, he's like losing money. And then I bought Goran Dragic.
Yep.
That's it. S1 Finals Rare moment, 2-digit serial for like six something, I think 650. And literally, if you look at the transaction history, someone had bought it for 1,000 and then flipped it. And like, that's a good deal. Like I'm watching certain moments and I like have freed up capital from the last pump. And I'm just like, I'm not necessarily going for like the challenges or like the new moments. I'm just like going for the stuff that people are dumping because I believe in S1s and I think S1s are really undervalued. So I'm just kind of like keeping my eye on S1s, like waiting for them to dip.
The challenge thing has gotten really out of hand, in my opinion. Like, there's just way too many, and they're too long. Like, like I want to do the LeBron challenge because anything LeBron, like I want to go after. Um, but it's like we got to wait 3 weeks after the KD, and then it'll be another probably 3 weeks. So it's like we're talking a month and a half. And the All Star game will be in the rear view so far. There's the cool cats, which, um, like it's almost kind of like just you don't need all this stuff. Like, and I think that the Rising Stars and Seeing Stars was not intended at all. Like, I think that maybe the NBA has come in and kind of been like, hey, you guys need to do something for the all-star stuff. And so this has been a little bit extra that maybe they hadn't necessarily planned for. I don't think that they're planning out as far maybe as they should, or maybe they just can't. I kind of think it's like Jacob said, it's like a week to week basis, Uh-oh. Are you there, Jen?
Can you see me?
Yes, you kind of froze. I was like, man, she's paying it hardcore.
You froze for me too, so it was probably my connection. But okay, so I wanted to kind of bounce off what you said there because back in like October, they were coming out with a lot of packs. They're rolling out with a lot of different packs, and people literally were like, okay, like too many packs, like there's not enough buyers, like can you guys like stop with the packs? Like there literally were just packs available on the market and people weren't buying them because like everyone was already spending all their money and no one was really buying like from the market necessarily. And so there's just like all these packs. And I mean, I feel like, there's, and then next week there's the pre-order drop base packs that are coming to everybody's accounts. Like, I feel like they're putting a lot of packs out in the market, and yeah, like things might take more of a dip than they are now. I don't know. But, I mean, they have to put more supply out. Like there's, the growth has been insane. Like, the growth has just been insane. They have to bring out more supply for the people. Like people want more moments. So
yeah, it's like, man, because I decided to commit to the metallic gold challenge, but like long term. So like I said, I've bought pretty much all of the ones that are out now, and I paid a bit of a premium because that pump kind of scared me, because especially with the golds, I feel like besides cosmic, like I feel like the golds hold like the value the most, even though they've kind of taken a hit too, like they'll eventually kind of rebound better than anything else. They just might not grow as fast. But when you're talking about like a $2,000 moment, like it's kind of like the median base. I kind of panicked, but I did sell some during the pump. Like I sold my LeBron 3-pointer for like 2,500. So now it's like 1,000. So I bought like a dozen of those for $100. So I was cool with that.
Damn. Okay, you were ahead of the times.
But it's kind of interesting, like the withdrawal issue. Like it kind of feels like it's not real yet. Like I'm not able to withdraw. Uh-oh, are you there? It looks like you're focused and freezing again. Jennifer. There she is.
I can hear you, but you are frozen. Okay, okay, we're both good.
We're back connected. So I think like it's just an interesting time, and you just don't know what challenges to kind of focus on. I know that you're not really a challenge person, and for some reason you are a keep the packs and don't open them person. So you want to kind of open the curtain on those two ideas?
Yeah. Well, I made a video about why I hodl unopened packs, and like it's like my most viewed video right now. I'm like, oh dang. And people are starting to message me being like, hey, I'm like down the line when they have the ability for you to like buy and sell packs from the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
for now you can't do that, which is why I think people aren't really thinking about the idea of holding the future, post about it and everything. And I just feel like people like gambling, so people will definitely be willing to spend a good amount of money on the unopened packs for sure. And I'm definitely going to buy when they come out with the ability for you to buy and sell them on the long
Right.
down the road. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not one of those, like, I can, like, me and Linux, whenever we have like the pack drop, like we'll usually try and call each other, and it's like if he's like way back far in the line, and I'm just sitting on my pack, and I'm like, well, I can open my pack now, like, right, like we could just talk, and then we'll just do yours later. Like the you know, I was always up at 4 a.m. on Christmas morning, shaking boxes and opening packs or Christmas presents. So I'm curious, what's your background before you kind of got into that? Like, what were you kind of working on? Do you still have the day job? You don't have to tell us exactly what your day job is if it's, like fighting crime or something like that. But, you know.
I work from home, and so basically TikTok, I was able to just like make a living from TikTok because I did beauty videos, and I would reach out to beauty companies and ask them if they wanted to sponsor a video for a certain amount. And I actually had a lot of beauty companies that would sponsor videos and everything. And so I was just able to just do that. And currently I'm taking a break from TikTok, to be honest, because it's just hard to do so many things. And, I'm just taking a break for now. But so I have a lot of time that I've been dedicating to TopShot lately. But honestly, my expenses are really low. Like I literally pretty much only spend money on like rent and groceries. So yeah, I'm just kind of in my growing stage.
It's kind of weird. It's like with the pandemic, especially like because we're almost to the 1 year mark of when the pandemic started. It's like, God, why couldn't this have been started and we actually been involved like during the pandemic? Because then it would have been, it would have been awesome, because there was definitely, I read 250 plus books during the pandemic, like, because especially Los Angeles, we were locked in hardcore. Yeah. So I had a lot. It was between books and Joe Rogan podcast, and I have an Airbnb business, which somehow survived during all this. But yeah, I kind of work from home, or at least my cell phone too. So
it's convenient. It's convenient, and yeah, I mean, I feel like the people that have more time to dedicate to TopShot, it's kind of easier to time things better and to buy when things are lower, because you're always watching things, and like you can kind of get a feel for stuff. But I know it's probably harder for people that don't have too much time. They have a wife and kids, and they have a full-time job, and they're just excited to try to get a pack, and even that's taking a lot of time for them. So yeah, I feel very fortunate to have time.
I have a group chat with the guys from my men's basketball team and they're all, married or, got kids and all these. And of course I'm not, I'm single, and I'll just text them and they'll be like, oh man, like I was tucking the kids in and missed the start time. And I'm like, where are your priorities? It's like, can't you just leave a bowl of food out for the kids? And it's like, it's not a chihuahua. It's like,
I know it's a good time to not have kids. It really is. Like,
I don't know. I feel like I again, this is me being totally ignorant, but like, it's like, can't you just like, couldn't I have like a baby and be like clicking and doing all that stuff? Like,
I mean,
I said there was actually someone doing a pack drop in the it was a family, I think on the first minute, and they had their baby with them. It was like 6 weeks old. I was like, they get it. That's how you do it,
Yeah. So, sure, you make it work.
Yeah, exactly. So what so where did you go? Like, what's your background? Did you go to like college? Did you major in something that is kind of worthless now, like most of us?
looking at my degree right now, just hanging on the wall, doing nothing. Yeah, I graduated from ASU, Arizona State University. Got my bachelor's of science degree in psychology. And I mean, I didn't, go into the field of psychology or anything. I didn't technically do anything with it. But I learned a lot in school, and I think psychology is a great life skill to learn, and just learning about human behavior and everything is all very interesting to me. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really do anything with my degree. My mom had always stressed the importance of education growing up because, didn't grow up with much money. It was like a struggle growing up. And like, my mom was always like, just go to college, like you'll be good, but I didn't know what to do after that. Like my only goal in life when I was a kid was to go to college. Cause I was like, oh, if I just go to college, like I'll be good. And I didn't think past that. Cause like, no one in my family had ever gone to college and like graduated and stuff. And I just like didn't really know like what to do. So I just like went to college. I lived at home. I worked during it. I didn't take out a loan or anything. I just paid as I went because I didn't want to have to owe money for the rest of my life. And then when I graduated, I was like, oh my God, like, what do I do now? I don't know what I want to do. And also to be in the psychology field, like you have to have a master's at least. And it was just like, what did I do? And I kind of was like low key, like depressed, like after I graduated. Like, yes, I felt like I accomplished something, but at the same time, it was like, once you accomplish your goal, you're just kind of like, okay, like now what, And I didn't think past that. So that's when my sister and we started an online business together. We had a glitter business and ran that for a couple of years. And we did all of our marketing through Instagram. So that's how we started learning about social media. And then ended up pivoting to TikTok, growing on TikTok. We just really like social media. So it's kind of like, I don't know, we've kind of just been doing social media stuff since.
Right. Did you start on TikTok when it was Musical.ly or when it was TikTok?
No, but it was TikTok.
I had a Musical.ly account, and because I was like, what is this new space? I knew some guys in my social media circles that were like kind of diving into it, but like, I'm a 30-year-old man. Like Musical.ly was when it was like real young, and I had a friend and he was trying to grow on it. He got to like 100,000 followers like that. Nice. But, he was like 20, 30 something guy. And he's like getting all these like 12 and 13-year-old girls like messaging him. And he's like, dude, I can't. I don't care how important it is. It's like, he's like, this is not, I have no interest in catering to 12-year-olds, And he had like long hair, ponytail. He's like a country music guy. And he's like, they're really inappropriate. And I was like, yeah, man, get out of it. But TikTok has definitely evolved into something pretty amazing. My mother is a big fan of TikTok. I'm not on it hardcore, but it's interesting that, like, first of all, congratulations on going to ASU. The second best ASU there is. I went to Appalachian State University, the real ASU. That's funny. It's funny because one of my buddies growing up, he was a wrestler at Arizona State, and so we were in college at the same time, and we would always argue. And it's like, obviously, Appalachian State is no comparison to Arizona State. Like, you guys, that's one of the premier colleges to go to. Sunny all the time and beautiful people.
Yeah, it's a big college. Lots of students for sure.
My father is a psychologist. My book, The Bartending Therapist, has a lot of psychological elements to it. I actually was going to go into the family business and become a psychologist, probably like in my late 20s. And I stepped on campus for the first day of grad school. At that time, I had been playing poker for a living, and I literally went straight to the admin building, and I was like, I made a mistake. I need to drop out. And they're like, it's literally the first day. Like, you don't even have to do anything. You just pick up a syllabus. I was like, I don't want you guys to charge me for anything. I'm out. like don't run those student loans.
Damn.
And I left there and I went straight to the casino, and I would play professional poker for like 7, 8 years right after that.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. So that was one of those like pivotal moments in my life. But I think it's interesting now with the younger generation. I'm kind of glad that you said what you did about like what now when you graduate, because for sure when I graduated, there wasn't like you could make money playing being a Twitch star or a TikTok or anything. Like you had to get that degree if you wanted any shot at having a job, you know, or you needed like kind of rich parents to fund whatever idea you wanted to do. Now, I would actually say, unless you want to be like a doctor or a lawyer, something that requires that level of education to practice that, career, then, there's just too much opportunity. You can watch. I mean, think about this. It's like if I was 18 and I didn't know what to do, and I was, working as like a server at Applebee's and had some extra money or whatever, and I'm watching your tutorial kind of videos on TopShot, it's like you could definitely learn enough to kind of make a good side hustle. The social media
Yeah,
thing,
for sure.
there's just so much opportunity. And I think like there's this weird bridge that hasn't been kind of gapped where the older generation versus this new generation and kind of understanding, and especially just try and explain Top Shot or NFTs to any of the baby boomer generation and above. Like
I mean, my mom, she's really open-minded, and like when we told her about it, we were just like, this is what it is, and she was like, oh my god, like I want to create an account, like I want to start investing. Like she was like thinking long term too, and she wasn't like thinking of flipping. She and I feel like yeah, there probably just needs to be a better way to explain it to some people, because yeah, there is kind of a learning curve if you're not, and we know obviously the newer generation is definitely like all the young kids, like, yeah, they totally get it, and but yeah, there's probably a bit of a learning curve, for people that are a little bit older. But I think that as long as they're open-minded and willing to learn, I feel like they would be down to like start putting money into this.
where do you I mean, because it's always kind of, everyone that's new always says like I'm too late, and we've kind of seen like you're not really too late. It's finally getting publicity. Today is the All-Star game. We will see what happens during and post game to Top Shot. But I saw an interesting thing where Jack Settleman, who I believe he's got an Instagram account with like 4 million NBA followers, and he posted like something simple like, have you ever heard of NBA Top Shot? And 75% said no. Like, how often do you like, has it ever come up to you in like outside of the Top Shot world where like you've heard, like you've been at Starbucks and you've overheard it? Like that hasn't happened to me. Like I was at a poker game and one guy had heard something about it, and the rest of these guys who watch sports all the time had no clue what I was talking about.
Yeah, we're still really early. Like the fact that most people don't know what NBA Top Shot is, like obviously all of the people we talk to know because we're in it, we're in it. But you kind of, if you take a step back, you're like, wait a minute, like most people don't even, and even if they do know, it doesn't mean they've put money into it. And I definitely think we're early. I mean, it's only, series 2, like, and series 2 just started too. Like, we're definitely early, and I definitely think there'll be a lot of $2 moments soon again as well. Like I said, I think they're really trying to put more supply out. But I mean, I definitely think we're early. It reminds me of back in I think, was it 2017 when Bitcoin hit the all-time high? Yeah, and I was watching a ton of YouTube videos, and I remember Brock Pierce, who he owns a ton of Bitcoin. He was saying like, if anything, it's too early. Like, if anything, it's too early. Like, and people thought that they were late then, and now Bitcoin, I don't know, what is it at, 50K or something? And like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy because it seems like, okay, if you're looking back from October when things, you could still buy things for cheap and all that. to now, yeah, if you're comparing, you know, the past to the present, but if you're comparing the present to the future, it's like, okay, we're definitely really early. You know, how many NBA fans are there? Or even how many people that are into cryptocurrency that want to invest and all that? I mean, I think there's going to be a lot more people coming in.
I think it's, you always, the most recent example is the cell phone. You know, like the first cell phone that I had, you know, I paid for 60 minutes a month. Like, and all I could do was call, you know. And back then it was like, oh man, why do you have a cell phone? Like, that's annoying, this and that, and you couldn't get it. And here we are now with our supercomputers in our pocket. You know what I mean? Like, that's, it's just kind of how it goes. And when you're early, it's, you know, you got to really fight. I've had to fight a lot with myself, especially like this week. Not that I'm just not like there's times where I'm just not as bullish as I was like during the big pump, you know. And during the big pump, I'm knowing it's like, okay, you know, this is definitely going to correct. How much is it going to correct? And you know, it's I every mistake that I've made, and I've made some big ones. I sold Jason Tatum, a Carl Towns, and a James Harden Meagle twos for about 300 or 400 total, and I just bought them all back for about, you know.
Oh, you bought them back?
I had to for the challenge, yeah. So like, as I'm buying them all now for like future challenges, I'm like, let me, like, if I see the price and I like it, like I'll try and snipe it, you know. And then of course during the pump, when I thought that like they were supposed to announce like the gold challenge, like they just took so long to do it. Like I was trying to get ahead of it. Then when the prices go, I was like, crap, they're going to announce this challenge and then they're going to go even higher, you know? So it's, that timing thing is always hard, but like in the long term, you end up doing, you still end up kind of winning. I try and tell people, it's like, it's not a question of whether or not you win. It's a question of whether you win by 50 or you win by 2 in double overtime, you know? So
yeah,
like,
yeah. I definitely feel like it's interesting because it's like when people are saying top shot to the moon, I'm like, okay, you know, is this a top signal? Should I sell? And then when people are like, oh my God, please, somebody buy my whole account for 50% off.
yeah,
Like I'll do anything, you know, then I'm like, okay, time to buy, you know, and you kind of have to go in the opposite direction of like the masses. Cause it's
yeah,
like, I mean, yeah, I think that ultimately long term, you know, even if you buy, and I made a video about this too, it's like, even if you buy at the top, like, and then it starts dipping down, like, don't sell like at a loss. Don't get into that habit unless you're like really good at, you know, recovering your losses and, you know, investing into something else and making money. Most people aren't, like, most people
yeah,
cannot do that. So like for the average person, like, do not sell at a loss. Just wait till it goes back up, because if you believe in the product and you've done your research and you know that this is only going to get bigger, then you know that it's just going to just be patient. Like, I feel like patience is more valuable than anything in this space right now. And you know, a lot of people don't have patience, and it honestly, it's just it's like the best skill you can have is to just be patient.
I bought 6 Carl Town kitties for $500.
Nice.
For $500.
Did you get $500 each?
Yeah. So I
Did you
am,
get the pack at all or no?
no, I didn't. I bought them because I thought that there would be a, you know, that they'll be worth more, and you know, like I could flip them, and now I think they're going for like under 200. Um, but you know, like it sucks because I didn't make it instant. But I'm like, you know what? I hold on to it. There is, like, I think there's a good story behind it, just despite the utility for the for the challenge. Like the fact that it came from Crypto Kitties, it is Carl Towns. Like he could be an all-star again next year, whatever. But I still think, like, you know, like a year from now, when that, if that card goes up to like 2,000, am I gonna be like, you know, oh man, I
Well,
was so
you could,
stupid, you know?
and you can potentially flip for more than 500 when they come out with the LaMelo challenge, you know,
Right.
like you can flip then if you wanted. And I think it would go out. I would think that it would be going for more than 500. I don't know, but yeah, I mean,
It's well, all I'm saying is like there's some of those where you buy stuff like I bought some Marvin Bagleys because I'm a Duke fan and I like him, and I bought them for like $75, and then they went all the way down to 30, and I was just like Jesus, and now they're over like 300 or 400 because they're like series ones, and stuff. I mean, again, like I think it's like you just have to, we talk about a lot like with the weak hands, like shake out the weak hands and stuff like I just know like even if I buy like and it dips down, like I'm not buying like if I can flip it real quick, cool. Like I bought a Luca Cool Cap when it first came out for 1,000 and it went down to 600. I was like, oh, and then I was like, I just posted for 3,000, and then like a week later it went way past that. Now I couldn't delist it in time to kind of get the rush, but at the same time, it's like I triple my money. I
Yeah.
use that 3K for like metallic golds. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you are not like a big basketball fan. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I mean, well, when I was younger, I would go to I actually went to a lot of WNBA games, so I'm really excited for that. But I never went to any NBA games, and I don't watch TV at all. So, but I do watch the moments.
Yeah,
I watch the moments. So
I'm pretty sure 90% of all of my moments I have not watched. Definitely not to completion. Like
really,
oh no, I don't even look at the moment.
they're fun to watch though. I used to not watch them either, and then I started watching them. I'm like, whoa, what the heck? Like this is a cool like, little clip. Like once you start watching them, you're like, oh shoot, like some of these are really good.
Yeah, I've because I've seen it before. Like I do watch basketball. I actually watch a lot more now because of this, just because I'm just trying to like hear names. Like I actually don't really watch the game much, but like I'll just have like a game in the background. And I love Zion. Like I've been a big fan of Zion. So every Pelicans game I try and watch just because I want to see like what kind of crazy stuff he's going to do. Like my prayer is that today in the All-Star game, he goes between the legs on a fast break in the middle of the All-Star game and just breaks the internet, and that's a top moment. And like that would be like one of the crown jewels. That's what I'm hoping for. But for the most part, like I said, I'm just kind of listening to the play-by-play of games solely to pick up on names. Like my co-host Lennox is a big fan of Keldon Johnson for the Spurs. If he wasn't a fan of his, I wouldn't know really who he was because the Spurs don't get a lot of attention. I like my Duke guys like RJ Barrett and Marvin Bagley and Cam Reddish. They're not lighting the world on fire, but just to try and catch and see what they're doing. I look at the box scores every night though, because I just want to see like every night it seems like someone's doing something pretty amazing, dropping like 50 points and stuff. So to your point, like I don't watch a lot of television either. I listen to a lot of television, but I don't actually watch it. So
Yeah, and the thing is, the beauty of it is that you don't have to, like, yeah, I'm sure, and I have friends that I'll message, I'll be like, hey, what do you know about this player? Like, and they'll just tell me everything they know, and it's like, it's nice, but you don't have to the cool thing about NBA TopShot is it's literally for everyone. Like, as long as you have money to invest, it's for everybody. Like, you don't have to be an expert, in NBA. And yeah, I'm sure, that could be a competitive advantage for you if you are. But you don't have to, you don't have to. And of course, I'm learning more and more about basketball every day. Like it's made me more of an NBA fan. Like I'm like, man, I would love to go to an NBA game now. I would love to see that in person. And yeah, I'm excited for when that's like a thing again.
I hope they do something like Terry Rozier did something where it was like if you bought a certain moment, he'd get you like a seat to the game, and like the real element like that could be tied into TopShot. Like if you're holding a LeBron Cosmic, then you get a courtside seat to a Laker game one day, or something like that. Like all those things, the players buying their moments and sending you like a signed jersey and stuff, like all those are pretty cool. I personally would want to keep the moment. I'm not really, needing a lot of signed jerseys or anything.
Yeah, no, I think that's smart what you said, like where they, it's like if you're holding this certain moment, then you can, maybe you get box seats or something. I don't know, like certain things, like if you're holding a certain moment, like I'm like, that's pretty powerful. And I definitely think that they will be doing stuff like that in the future, like for sure.
You had mentioned about potentially expanding your social and YouTube into doing interviews. So my question to you is like, what are some of the most important questions you would want to know from like your guests, your future potential guests? And if you need me on, of course, I would be more than happy to. But what are those questions that you feel like are not being answered to some of the people that like you would have on that you've probably seen already on?
So like, for example, Alexo and Kylo, like I look up to a lot of those guys, and Baller Basket and Jen K, like all these people with, multi-million-dollar accounts that, they're not really public. They don't really talk too much. Occasionally, maybe they'll do an interview or something, but I would love to know like the story behind how they got started. But also like, what are their thought processes? Like what were they thinking, back when it was dead and there wasn't much movement? Like what were they thinking then? What are they thinking now? Like just kind of more of their thought process. Cause I think that's really interesting. Like what they're thinking about the market, the potential of what they see, why they decided to invest so much money. Like what is it that they see about NBA TopShot that's so special? And yeah, I would like to know those questions, and then maybe questions that people ask, in the chat or something. That would be awesome to have like live Q&A, I think.
See, so here's my one word of advice for long form interviews. You got to ask the hard hitting questions like, where's your favorite fast food restaurant? New York pizza, Chicago pizza. Where's your favorite state?
Yeah, right.
It has to be food based because, as we know, like that's the most important.
Somebody asked me it was Young Content. He's great, but he was like, okay, now what's your favorite food? And I was like, my favorite food, like I was thinking about TopShot, so I was like, I don't even know, and I was just like, watermelon, I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about food. I was thinking about TopShot. But
I used to do this. I used to do a show for poker on YouTube like a long time ago. I don't even know if they're even up anymore, but there was this questionnaire there was a show called Inside the Actor Studio with James Lipton, and Will Ferrell actually like did a version of it on SNL, and it's much more comical, and he's got like this stack of cards and it's just these random questions, and so it's like I'm just curious, like, so one of the questions was always, what's your favorite word? Do it.
Like, does anybody think about that though? Like, okay, yeah. This is my favorite.
There's a good one, like Robin Williams. I don't remember exactly, but it was something like thorax. Like he loved the word thorax.
Okay.
One guy I had on my show, his name was Brian Rass. He's a professional poker player. His was Saudades. It's Saudaus. Is Portuguese, and it means like this longing feeling. Like it's like so. It's kind of interesting. Like if there's your favorite word.
Is that an actual question you're asking?
Yes. We're practicing.
My favorite word. I'll say Jennifer is a pretty cool word.
It's one of my favorite names because my mother's name is Jennifer.
Oh, nice. There we go.
I buried the lead on that. I probably should have led with that. So like in like what's your favorite cuss word? You're allowed to say it. Fuck. That's a very popular one.
Yeah. It's a popular one, yeah. What's your favorite cuss word?
Oh, it's fuck. Like, for fuck's sake. Yeah. I'm saying that a lot, and shit. I run the gambit on it, I try and be a little more eloquent in my verbiage, like when I'm
talking. I was gonna say, like, I don't know if I'm like allowed to cuss on YouTube or how that works. I just like haven't said anything. I'm like, am I gonna get banned or anything? Like, I don't know what the situation is. So
I think given the context, it'll be okay. So yeah. But like I do think like it's interesting with those things because you don't think that it seems like very silly, but I do think that there's you can find a lot of interesting things about people that you just wouldn't think of. And I'll give you a great example. Like my favorite dessert, and I'm a huge dessert fan. It's called Trendlik. It's this dessert in Prague in the Czech Republic, and it looks like this like churro meets like a Cinnabon cone, and then they put like soft serve ice cream in it, and it's like it's the greatest thing. What's funny is all the locals in Prague are like, "Oh, that's just for tourists. We don't actually eat it." I'll eat it all day long, you know. So I'm a big sweets fan. Is we haven't been able to travel. Is that something that is part of your life, like traveling as a influencer and kind of being able to work from home? You can kind of do it anywhere.
I'm actually going to visit my family very soon, and taking a road trip, so that's nice. But yeah, I'm super excited to start traveling again when that's a thing. I definitely I want to visit other countries. I mean, I personally like, since I graduated college, I've been moving like to a new state every year because I like living in different environments and like meeting new people and just kind of like the ability to just like start fresh and not know anybody. Like I know people are like, "But what about your friends?" I'm like, I can go visit them if I want. Like, you know, I like having friends in different like spots. But I'm definitely excited to travel, and you know, maybe I'll sell my LeBron finals and travel the world. I don't know.
Wow. It's kind of cool that you could do that. Like, you know, it's like, you know what? I'll unload this and then there you go. I think that there's always been talks, but like one thing that I'm excited for is I'm guessing probably next year, some kind of convention, you know, like like a TopShot, like Las Vegas convention, and to be able to kind of see everybody. You know, Lord knows like what level we will be at then, but like I can just envision, you know, like, you know, hanging out like after all the festivities, but just kind of like, wow, like looking around the room and it's like, see you and your sister and like Wade's and, you know, Kylo or,
that'd be cool.
and, you know, and just kind of like, wow, we're all kind of, this is kind of here. Who knows though? Like some of us might be like kind of bigger than others, like need security or something. I don't think so.
Security. Well, also I was thinking, because the great thing about, for example, like you know, people will recognize you because they've seen your face like online, but the people that have like the random profile pictures and like the name that's not theirs, it's like nobody's gonna know who they are. Like, you know, but if people could have their like their TopShot username like on their shirt or something, like that would be nice.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, so every year the World Series of Poker, it's over like a month and a half in Vegas, and I used to go every year, and it was cool because I would see some of my friends that I had met and like follow kind of through Twitter, you know, and they'd be on the European Poker Tour, I'd be on like the, you know, WSOP circuit or the World Poker Tour. We're all in these different arenas, but for a month and a half, we're all in the same arena for, you know, competing and stuff, and it's pretty awesome. But what's funny is like you would think like even the poker players that like the world famous ones, like everyone's kind of equal. Like you definitely have the pros, and there is a little bit of that fanboy, you know, especially for like I'd say like the top 100 guys. But you know, there's plenty of guys that have been on TV. You know, like I've played against almost all of them, and there's just like this weird kind of like it doesn't matter if you're, you know, like in Top Shot, if your account's 10,000 or 10 million, you know, we're kind of all in this together. I'm definitely hopeful that like they do something like that, and you know, we can definitely be a part of, you know.
Yeah, that would be so fun, like to meet everybody in person. Like there's just something special about like in person like stuff, you know, like you can feel the energy. It's great.
Oh, it just like the show, like I mean, it's kind of great that like Zoom has become such a standard now and acceptable, because that's kind of how I can do my podcast, and you know, all these other podcasts probably wouldn't be made possible, you know, pre-COVID, because like just the idea of always doing Zoom, it was kind of looked down upon. But you know, the in-person is always better, I think, for engagement. and it just aesthetically looks better, like a real show. But when JJ Redick, who he's probably my favorite basketball podcast, like he's doing the same thing we are. He's he might have a little bit better graphics and stuff, but it's kind of the same thing. His videos are he did one with Brandon Ingram, and Brandon Ingram's video was freezing up. So we're all in this together. We're all the same.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of like levels the playing field,
Yeah. Well, Jen, I think we're hitting almost an hour here, so we're only about 20 times the average length of your videos. So,
Nice.
if there's anything that you want to plug, or even if you want to ask me, now would be the time.
I mean, well, I actually wanted to know because you got in January 7th, but that was kind of before the pump. Like, how did you hear about it?
So Linux is really like my crypto Eskimo, if you will. He has been involved in crypto for a long time. And he's very we're both very entrepreneurial. He's actually got like a real job. I've never had a real job really, but he's always looking for like something like, we both got into Airbnb kind of the same time. And, he always had it kind of as like this side hustle. I took it to the next level, and I've got like a number of properties, and that's kind of how I make my living now. And then he got into like Amazon drop shipping. That wasn't really my thing. He's always kind of looking for like something. He's just kind of got that, what I call like the garage sale DNA, and loves kind of like the flip. So he told me about the like he had bought this piece. I feel like it was like a dead mouse piece or something. And I was just like, you paid how much for this? Like, seriously? And it didn't really catch my attention. And then he bought this other piece that had like 10x. And I was like, okay, that's interesting, but I'm not really an art person. Like, I don't know about that. So if there's something that comes up and you feel real confident, I'll we'll split it. And I'll, kind of like insurance to help the exposure for his portfolio. And literally like 2 weeks later, he's like, there's this NBA thing, like, check it out. And I looked at it, and I collect cards when I was a kid, but I could kind of see that it was different. But again, I asked every question that every newbie asks, the YouTube question, like, are people really going to buy this? And of course, I opened that first pack, and the best card is Buddy Hield, and I was just like, this sucks. But we did the next pack was to deck the hoops, and we got the LeBron, and we could have sold it right away for probably $1,000, and we were kind of like, but I sold those metallic golds, and they did not move at all. The Carl Towns I sold for $40, and like I had it like at 80 for a long time, and then finally I was just like trying to get rid of it, and it finally, I did the low ask and got it. The Tatum I had was a number 21 metallic gold, and I sold.
Oh my God!
I sold for 125, but it gave me like $400 or $500, and I started buying some stuff, kind of cheap stuff. And we had one night after Deck the Hoops when those base packs were just still sitting there, and it was like a Saturday night, and we were bored. And he was like, hey, man, I just bought like 5 packs. And I was like, I'll buy 5 packs. And we were just kind of enjoying the opening the packs and what did you get? And we're doing it on the phone. And it was weird because that night, like they all just they were just gone. We were buying 5 packs at a time, and we just did it for like 2 hours. But we would buy 5, open them, and then like go. And it's like, all right, I just bought 5 more, instead of just like loading up and just like hoarding. We just didn't know what we were doing. And that's really what helped my portfolio the most, is that night of just kind of like, we spent $200 each, like screwing around,
So you didn't sell those moments that you got from base packs, or did you end up selling them?
No, like I have sold stuff since, but yeah, I pretty much just unloaded, I kept everything, and then it just started, going high. And I had a bunch of money well, not a bunch of money, but I had like some reserve money that I had been looking to invest in, like buying like more Airbnbs. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to kind of take a flyer on this. And I just bought a bunch of stuff. I got like some really good deals. Like, I got like the Zion handles. Um, I think it's going for like 3,500. I think I paid like 400 for it.
Nice.
I bought I just picked up like some random base ones. Like I bought like uh who was it? I think I bought a James Harden for like $5, like a base one.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, but I like I said, like I didn't even know what I was really doing,
Mhm.
you know, and I still don't. I don't think that there's really anybody. Those snipers know what they're doing for the most part, like, but I'm not like that, and I don't have the technology to do that. Like I installed the fastest possible internet I could, and I can't beat those guys. So
Yeah, that I mean, and yeah, like today it was so hard to, because the marketplace would open for like 5 minutes and then it closed, and it's like, but like I was able to buy like three different moments that I thought were great deals, like S1s, because nobody's like buying those. So like, but if you're trying to buy the stuff that everyone's buying, like yeah, like it's really hard right now. But
right.
like if you're trying to buy the stuff that no one's really buying, like honestly, like it's not that hard. Like it's kind of easier.
But like I was targeting like the Lucas base twos, and like they were down like 230,
Oh yeah.
and I wasn't trying to get that. Like I was trying to get higher serials, like, and pay like 300. And even then, like I'm just like gotta keep hitting try again. I
Again,
haven't
yeah.
I haven't bought anything. Like nothing's gone through. So I'm kind of just like just gonna wait, and hopefully it kinks out, and maybe tomorrow morning. But who knows?
Yeah.
That was a. I feel like the market evaluation is very off because people can't buy. I think that they're just undercutting and undercutting each other, not knowing like no, it's not that it's not selling at that price. It's not selling because people can't process it. It won't go through.
Yeah, I'm yeah, it's kind of weird that just really these past couple of days it's been like that. Like it's not like we necessarily had more traffic. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Well, cool.
I think they might be preparing for an influx of users. We'll see.
Well, they have, my opinion, like if they don't have signups available during the game, that's a
Yeah.
that's a big fail.
I know, and I don't know if they will. Like from what it looks like, it's like, are they gonna have signups available today? Like I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
All right, girly. We appreciate you. You're doing great. Plug all your stuff, your YouTube and all that.
Okay, YouTube is Jennifer TopShot, and then my Twitter is Jennifer_Sutto Sutto, my last name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you for having me on. Like it was great to meet you and talk to you and to hear like your story as well. Like I love hearing other people's stories on how they got started and stuff. And yeah, good luck selling your LeBron when it appreciates more.
I've got a CJ McCollum Meagle #4 that I'm trying to sell too, and I just like I bought it for 2,000, and it's like I've had it listed for as much as 20,000. I'm like, where's CJ? Come on, dude, just log on, get your #4. It's ready for you. So, no, I appreciate it. Like I love the stories, I love the people of this community, and we're just trying to, put a little bit more personality and a little less strategy. We at the end of the day, especially as I'm sure you get it, where people are hitting you up like, should I buy this James Harden for $75? Is this good value? Should I hold this? It's, we're not experts, but we have lives too. And like, I'm more than happy to kind of respond when I have a chance, but you're not the evaluate market tool or OptiBaller tool, and you're putting out some great content, very educational. Your personality is bubbly. And so all of my guys that are checking this out, be sure to follow Jen, and, good luck in your Top Shot journeys. And again, thanks so much for joining us, Jen. And
Yeah, thank you.
for Top Shot Nation, we will see you next time.